Hi there, well it's been ages since I've done a video and I apologise for that, but things have been really hectic lately. I've had my baby now. Here he is. He is called Wilf and he was 7 pounds and 13 ounces, and I just wanted to make a quick video to record the details of his birth before I forget, basically, because these things quickly vanish from your mind. So I will give a little warning though, if you're watching this and you're pregnant and you don't want to hear birth stories with any kind of distress in, then don't listen to this, because this does have a little bit of parts of it that are quite disturbing maybe for you. I'm not sure. If you just want a completely positive birth story, then perhaps don't listen to this. I'm not sure, it might upset you, I don't know. But anyway, so this is how it went. On Wednesday morning last week at 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up with a really strong painful contraction, and I was actually like soaked in sweat. It was that intense and it seemed to go on for ages, and I thought, oh, I must be in labour. But then I lay there waiting for the next contraction and it didn't happen, but I was getting a tightening or a kind of contraction every half an hour throughout the day. That day I had another appointment at the hospital because I was going to the hospital every 2 days to be monitored because I was under consultant care due to how many babies I've had and my age. Oh no, he's waking up now. What's he doing? Oh, going back to sleep. Yeah, so I was going every 2 days to be monitored because at my age they like to induce you between 39 and 40 weeks. That's their standard policy, because they say that the placenta won't be as effective and the waters that the baby is in will start to dry up and stuff like that. So because I didn't want to be induced, they said, okay, then we'll monitor you, and when these things start to happen then we'll induce you. So yeah, every 2 days I was going to be monitored, and I think much to their annoyance they couldn't find anything wrong. The baby's heart rate was absolutely perfect, my blood pressure was fine, the level of water in the sac was all brilliant, the amount of oxygen going to the baby through the placenta was all completely working efficiently. So they had no cause to induce me, and you know, I kept saying that because they were telling me the risks of being older and all of this, and I was saying yes, but everything's fine, and there are risks involved with being induced, so I'd rather not be induced for as long as possible. So anyway, the Wednesday that I went into labour, I was actually right, I'm feeding him now, so he should stay quiet now. Yes, so where was I? The Wednesday that I went into labour, I was 8 days over 40 weeks, which is pretty unheard of in this country. You know, they want to definitely have induced you before then, but because I was so healthy and everything was fine, I managed to stay pregnant and go into labour naturally, which is what I wanted. So anyway, yeah, I had since that painful 5 o'clock contraction, no pain, just a few tightenings every half an hour throughout the day. That afternoon we had an electrician round doing stuff in the house and some decorators, and I started to get not painful, but you know, contractions that you know are definitely contractions and not Braxton Hicks. So I texted my husband at one point because he was at work and said, I'm getting contractions every 6 minutes. Don't worry about coming home now, but next time I text you is probably to say, come and take me to the hospital. So then about half an hour later, I think it was getting quite uncomfortable, and the contractions were about every 3.5 minutes apart, and the workman kept trying to ask me questions and talk to me, and I was finding it harder and harder to hear them and harder to talk. And I know that's a big sign that I'm in labour, because that's what always happens. I lose the ability to hear and the ability to talk. I don't know why, but I can't do it. So I again texted my husband and said, look, now the contractions are every 3.5 minutes apart, and you need to come and deal with the workman because I can't talk anymore. So I just sort of wandered around the garden watching the children play, and my husband came home. He was home within about 15 minutes, and then he explained to the workmen that I was actually in labour, which kind of freaked them out, so they quickly finished what they were doing and went. And then my husband went and got my mother-in-law to look after the children, and as soon as she got here, I was like, right, come on then, let's go to the hospital. And my mother-in-law was saying, oh, don't you want to go and relax in the bath first? And I said, no, I really don't think there's time, because by then my contractions were about every 2 minutes apart. So we quickly left, went to the hospital, and my 14-year-old daughter really wanted to watch me give birth, which I thought fine, you know, she wants to be a midwife, so she's interested in all things like that. So she came with us, and I was okay in the car. I seemed to have a contraction every time we went onto a roundabout, which was annoying. That was really uncomfortable. And then we got to the car park in the hospital, and I found it really difficult to get out of the car. I was really struggling, and managed to get out of the car, and then it was quite a walk from where we'd parked to the hospital, so it took me a long time, it felt like, to get across the car park, and I was clinging on to my husband's hand, and I had tears streaming down my face like a big baby, saying, I don't think I can do it, I don't think I can get there, but I just took it as slowly as I could. Eventually managed to get up to the delivery suite, and then we got a room to give birth in, and by this time I really could not barely hear anything or talk at all. So the midwife came in, she started asking questions, and I couldn't answer. My husband had to answer it all. And the first thing she wanted to do was examine me and see how far dilated I was, but I couldn't get onto the bed because I was in so much pain, which I thought was quite weird. I mean, it was a weird labour for me. The labour before this one, I didn't have any pain until it came to the pushing bit at the last minute, but this one was really intense. So it took me what felt like forever to get onto the bed to be examined, and then she said, oh, you're about 8 centimetres, which was kind of a relief, because I was thinking, I bet she's going to say 5. I was preparing myself for the worst, but she said 8, and I thought, well, that means it's virtually over. So I was, you know, feeling quite fine, just thinking this will soon be over, it'll be fine. Anyway, I didn't want to give birth really laying on my back, because I know that's sort of harder to do. I wanted to stand up like I did before. Well, most of the times I've been either kneeling or standing up, or, you know, not lying on my back. So yeah, I didn't really want to give birth like that, but by this time I couldn't move. So I was stuck on my back, and then I just started getting the urge to push. So I was pushing, and I was just thinking, this is brilliant, I'm so pleased, I've got to this stage so quickly, and it's going to be over in a matter of minutes, because usually my pushing stage lasts for about 3 minutes. So I was thinking, oh, I've, you know, nearly done. But it wasn't that easy. I was pushing, and it seemed like nothing was happening. It was like the baby's head was coming down and then going back again. So I pushed again, the head would come down, then it would go back again. And I was just thinking, what on earth is going on? What, you know, I just couldn't understand it. So I said, can I move? I need to move, because I was sure, like, maybe it's because I'm on my back. So the midwife was about to help me move over onto my front, like kneeling on my front. But then the baby's heart rate decelerated. So she said to me, oh no, you know, the baby's heart rate's decelerated and it's staying decelerated. So you need to get this baby out now. So, you know, nothing like a bit of pressure. Like, you know, I hadn't been trying the whole time. So my husband had to sort of relay that information to me, because I couldn't hear properly what she was saying. So when I'm in labour, the only person I can hear is my husband. So he was saying, you've got to push him out now, you have to do it, just give it everything you've got. So it was awful, absolutely awful. I was so scared. I didn't know what on earth was going on, and it was just terrifying. So I was pushing and pushing and pushing, and it felt like nothing was happening. And then they were saying they were going to have to get the doctors in and all of this, and yeah. Then yeah, they were planning on getting the doctors in, and for me to be taken into surgery and have the baby taken out that way. So my husband was saying to me, come on, give it everything you've got. And so I did. I just pushed at the same time as screaming the hospital down. I just screamed and screamed and screamed, and in the back of my mind I was thinking, oh no, my 14-year-old daughter's watching this and I'm putting her off ever having a baby. And you know, it was just horrible. It was such a nightmare, as well as of course worrying about thinking, oh, my baby's dead. It was horrendous, but I pushed and pushed and pushed, and I wouldn't stop pushing and screaming until that head came out. And then when the head came out, they were panicking because he was purple and he had the cord really, really tightly wrapped around his neck, and the cord was very short, so they were finding it difficult to get it off his head. They had to really be quite vigorous about that, which, you know, of course was painful, but I couldn't care less about the pain. I just wanted to make sure that he was fine. And then luckily they dealt with that really efficiently, and then that he was able to be born. But yeah, I mean, that was what was preventing him from coming out, was the fact that I had a short cord and it was wrapped around his neck, and as I was pushing, you know, there was no slack in it. So you can imagine the effort of trying to push that out. That was horrendous. When he was out, the first thing I did was like put my hands in a prayer position and say, thank God for that. Thank God that is over. I was so relieved, utterly relieved. And he was fine, absolutely perfect. And I thought, yeah, that's wonderful. It's all over. Never have to do that again if I don't want to. I can just sort of relaxed now, and I thought that was the end of it. Of course, the midwives were flapping the whole time, thinking that I was going to suddenly hemorrhage and bleed to death because of how many babies I've had and how old I am and all of that. So they'd whacked a thing in my arm, you know, what's it called, a cannula, I don't know, the thing where they can put a drip in quickly in case if I was about to hemorrhage. So I had that there ready, but I said I don't want anything put in unless I am hemorrhaging. So yeah, they were all, the two midwives were both watching me every second after the baby was born, because they said once the placenta comes out, that's when you could start to hemorrhage. So then I felt stressed again, thinking, oh, I thought, you know, I got past the worst of it. Well, I think I did get past the worst of it, but I thought I could sort of relax now, but no. I then had to worry about whether I was going to hemorrhage or not. So so I was just waiting for this placenta to come out. They said, do you want the injection to have the placenta out? And I said no, because I haven't had it for the past few times I've given birth and it came out fine, so I'll just wait and see, you know, how long it takes and stuff. Anyway, it wasn't going to come out. We waited for an hour. I walked about, I squatted, I sat on the toilet the whole time with the midwives both following me and watching my every move. And you know, I do appreciate their efforts. They were really being, you know, taking good care of me, and I do appreciate that, because it could have all gone really badly wrong. But yeah, so yeah, an hour went by and I said, oh, give me the injection then, because I just want this over now. I really just want it over. So they gave me the injection, which is meant to get the placenta out within about 10 minutes. But no, it still wasn't coming out. So the midwives were getting me to get into different positions, trying to push it out, and nothing, it wouldn't come out. Then it got to about half an hour since I had the injection. There were still no signs of it coming out, so the midwife said, well, we're going to have to send you to surgery. And I said, what does that mean? What are you going to do? And she described the procedure of removing the placenta and said that I would have to have an epidural. And I thought, oh no, this is horrendous. After going through what I've just been through with this delivery, you know, I really don't want to go to surgery. So I was crying again and just saying, I really don't want this. And she said, okay, well, we'll give you 5 more minutes. And the doctors were again waiting outside. And she said, look, I'll pull on the cord and you push as hard as you can. And I was thinking, if anything's going to make me hemorrhage, I'm sure, you know, this is it. Because I didn't think you were supposed to pull the cord. But I thought, well, I've got to do something. I don't want to have surgery. So she was tugging away on this cord, and I was pushing and pushing and got it out right at the last minute, and again just felt that immense relief, absolutely huge amount of relief. And I thought, oh, you know, now I can hold my baby properly and relax and feed my baby and all of this stuff. And I had no blood loss at all, which they were amazed at. And I was like, Mercy, told you so. So at least something went right. But yes, that was a very unusual labour for me. I have not had any problems before, apart from with my first baby. But all the other labours have all gone so well and so smoothly, and I felt so guilty for my 14-year-old having to witness that. She was fine. She thought it was absolutely fine. She said she got a little bit worried when they were talking about the cord and the baby's heart rate, but it was over so quickly the actual giving birth to the baby, it was less than 30 minutes from when I got to the hospital to when he was out. So a lot happened in that time. So for me it seemed like forever, but for my daughter it was like, you know, that was quick. Yeah, so she was fine, but I did feel like, oh no, what have I done? So what else? Oh right, so then there was a bit of meconium, how do you say it, meconium, baby poo in the waters when Wilf was born. So I had to stay in the hospital to be monitored again, or for him to be monitored, because sometimes that can cause breathing difficulties. But it was right at the last minute and he was fine. He hadn't swallowed any of it. He didn't have any breathing problems. He was absolutely fine the whole time. So I had to stay in, and I was in so much pain that night, and I think it was all the tugging of the placenta mainly, because it was, you know, womb pain. It was not the pelvic area, it was the actual womb pain, and after pains get worse with each baby you have. So I was in lots and lots of pain, and they offered me pain relief and I said no, because I don't like to take anything if I really can help it. And yeah, lots of pain for the first 2 nights, and then after that I was fine. And Wilf has been a lovely little baby, a lovely baby to have. The first 2 nights I didn't get any sleep because he was feeding the whole time, which of course causes more pain as well with your womb contracting. But my womb contracted really quickly. Midwives were surprised at that, they always are. And my milk was coming through profusely by day 2. And it's all been good since then. It's been lovely to have our latest addition to the family. So yeah, that is my birth story. Bit strange. I did think about recording my labour, but I'm glad I didn't actually. It was all so traumatic. I don't know if I'd want to ever see that. But yeah, it's done now and I can forget about it and enjoy my baby. Anyway, I'm going to do a few more videos in the near future showing you my little baby and how he's doing, and how he's fitting into our new family. I'll try and do some day in the life videos as well. My husband is still on paternity leave at the moment, so I'll probably start doing those when he goes back to work, so you can see how I'm struggling with looking after 6 children by myself. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, so thank you very much for listening to me ramble on about my labour. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.